Hey everyone, it's me. Your boy Matt. Come on, Sierra. Come on now. Anyway, thank you seriously from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for sticking with me through the whole entire experience. It's just been wonderful having you guys at my back. A lot of you have been leaving the same questions and requests in my comment section over the last few videos. So we're going to hit it with today's video. So today's video, what we're doing is we're doing a full update. Going over everything that's happened, going over the details of everything, the details of my release, the current legal situation, the appeal, a clear recap of what happened with the AutoKeyCard and how this whole thing got going. And for your newer viewers, I'll go over the gist of what's going on, how you can keep supporting me, my personal experiences, and some of the stuff I went through that I wanted to tell you guys about. And finally, the future outlook of this particular channel and what we're going to be doing on it. So, grab a drink, get comfortable, and let's jump into all this. So first, where am I right now? Like physically, where is my location? And legally, where am I at? So right now, I am at home full-time. I'm on full-time house arrest on home confinement. I wore shorts, show you guys. Can't really kick my leg that high. But yeah, that's an ankle bracelet. So I'm being GPS monitored, which not a big deal. I live a pretty normal life right now. I work. I'm with my family every single day. We eat dinner together. All my stuff I missed for years. Like it feels amazing just being here. Like it's the little things that matter too. Like when your daughter smiles at you or asks you to help you with something and you help her. Like I'm telling you, like you wouldn't think it, but that stuff really does matter. The only real reminder of my situation, honestly, is the ankle bracelet, and then occasionally I have to drive back to the halfway house for a urine test and a breathalyzer because I'm still technically in their custody. So I don't mind at all. You know what? It's good to take a little field trip. You wouldn't think it, but even here on home confinement, it's just nice to get out for once in a while. So yeah, totally okay. I will drive to the halfway house anytime they want for a breathalyzer and a urine test. Luckily, I didn't have to spend a whole bunch of time in the halfway house. Thanks to the new administration, policy pushes the Bureau of Prisons to get people like me out of there that have a stable household, a family, a stable job, a car, a cell phone, because the halfway house isn't really meant for people like me. What the halfway house is meant for is somebody that's been down like 10 or 20 years and they've lost all their connections, a whole bunch of their family have died, the people that would have employed them, like 10 or 20 years ago, they've long since moved on, they might not even have the businesses anymore. In short, they're basically homeless. What the halfway house is designed for is you come out of your 10 or 20-year sentence, here's a place to ease your way back into society. So, you go to the halfway house, you get yourself a job. Okay, now you got a job for a little bit, you get yourself a cell phone. Now I got a cell phone for a little bit. All right, I got to get a car. Now I got a car. All right, now I can start looking for an apartment. They get you on food stamps, all the health care you would need to be on. It's a legitimate, needed resource for people that have been down for a long time. But for me, where I wasn't down for that long and you guys helped me keep all my assets and stuff, I could easily transition right back into the normal world. So that's why I wasn't at the halfway house for very long. But to be realistic, I kind of needed it for a little bit because I needed like a day or so just to sit on my cell phone and reacclimate myself back into society. And that would have been difficult to do at home because, I would have had kids running around. My girl would have been on me. I couldn't have just sat on my cell phone for 2 days. So it did in fact help me. Not in the way I don't think they intended it for, but it did in fact help me. So right now, life is good. Way better than it was. I mean, realistically, all I'm doing is just waiting for the legal side, for that chapter to close so we can move on to the next chapter, basically. So the next question I get the most is, what's the latest on your appeal? As of today, that's December 29th, 2025, we're still waiting on the decision from the three-judge panel. Sorry, I can't talk. The panel in the 11th Circuit. We're already past oral arguments. They were back in September, and we've been waiting on a ruling, and there's no ruling yet. A lot of people don't realize this, but that's actually encouraging. If they were to deny me, it's very, very easy to simply write denied on your appeal. That's real simple, doesn't take long at all. Look at Tate's case, he was denied in like, what, a week or two? The fact of the matter is, if they're gonna approve it and I'm gonna get some sort of win, they have to figure out how to write it in a way that's gonna reverse a jury's conviction. Because a jury's conviction is supposed to be ironclad. Like, if the jury convicts you, well, clearly you did it because 12 people agreed that you did it, and that's supposed to take the burden away from the courts And so now if they're going to reverse that, they have to really get in there and explain why the jury's decision doesn't count. If we win, there are 3 possible outcomes. Number 1, and that's a mistrial. The government can retry me. And yeah, that would suck. I don't think they would, because trials are crazy expensive. I already set my time, but they could. Number 2 is a conviction without prejudice, meaning they can basically come after me again, but what they did the first time was incorrect. So it might be like, I'm making stuff up here, and again, I'm not a lawyer, and if you take legal advice from me, you're stealing, and I'm not giving it out. So, from what I understand, it's basically like, hey, you guys did this completely wrong. We still believe that there was a crime committed here, so if you'd like to, you can re-go after this again, but like not with these charges, or maybe not with these jury instructions. I don't know, something would have to change. So we're not hoping for that either. The third outcome is that's overturned with prejudice, meaning I'm good to go. Like, it's like it never happened. I have a completely clean criminal record, and immediately I'd pivot and jump right back into the lawsuits, because that's what you do. And with the lawsuits, you just go through it, and it takes years and years and years before you ever get a penny, but that would be the next step. I'm feeling very confident, not just because of the time passing, but the core issue. A flat piece of metal with a drawing engraved on it isn't a machine gun. It isn't a machine gun conversion device. And if it is, then where exactly is the line? What isn't a machine gun or a machine gun conversion device? You can literally make a machine gun conversion device faster and more efficiently out of a coat hanger or a 3D printer. So if a flat piece of metal with a drawing on it is a machine gun conversion device or a machine gun, well, most certainly a coat hanger and a 3D printer would also be machine guns, because it's way easier to make them. So if we're just talking about readily convertible, which is kind of like the argument they were using in trial, like, oh, it's just so easy to make a machine gun off of this, well, then machine guns and coat hangers would definitely fall into that. And that would basically make every hardware store across the country an unregistered NFA like fun shop. All hardware stores would have to be registered, because I could go into a Lowe's with a Lowe's loyalty card and like $100 and break every NFA law on the books. Like, the tools to do these things aren't complicated. It's super simple. But the 3 biggest arguments we're hanging our hat on are pretty simple. The law specifies it's got to be a combination of parts. The AutoKeyCard is a single piece of steel. Therefore, it can't be parts, as in plural, multiple parts. And the NFA also says part in other parts of the NFA. Like, part solely and exclusively for converting a firearm to a machine gun. So in this particular definition, it says parts with an S, and it specifically has to be parts. Because again, if they wanted it to be parts, like a single part, they would have said it, because they said it in other places in the NFA and other definitions. Like, this covers part or parts. This particular definition only covers parts. It has to be more than one part. So how can a single piece of steel be parts? That's the first big one. The second one is the First Amendment argument. This is a drawing, a solid piece of steel. It's a novelty with a political message on it. It's basically a political protest, and if that's not covered by free speech, and that's like the most thing that free speech is supposed to encompass, is political protest, then what's going on here? The next one is the rule of lenity. That basically states if a law is ambiguous, the government has the rule in favor of the defendant. And the fact of the matter is, if you can look at a single piece of steel and say it's parts and not just a single part, the law is clearly ambiguous. Not to mention, if you have to cut chunks of that single piece of steel off, force them into an AR-15 fire control system, comboed up with really soft bench rest primers inside of 223 ammunition to make this thing fire full auto, well, there's clearly some ambiguity, I don't actually know the word for it. We'll call it fuckery. There's clearly some fuckery going on with that particular law if it encompasses that, so therefore it would fall under the rule of lenity, and they would have to rule in my favor. There's other arguments too, like the Bruin argument, Second Amendment argument, terrible jury instructions, but our 3 heavy hitters are the ones I just went over. Yeah, those could definitely also get me innocent, but the 3 ones are, it's a single piece of steel, so it can't be parts. It's definitely covered by the First Amendment, and the law is ambiguous, so clearly the rule of lenity would play into it here. Anyway, for you newer viewers who keep asking what even started all of this, and that's an excellent question. So here's the story in a nutshell. A guy approaches me about a sponsorship for their channel. If you're unfamiliar with YouTube, there's a couple of different ways to make money. You got YouTube advertisements, that's where everybody's talking about demonetization. You got sponsorships, and then you got fan funding for merchandise. Typically for a successful YouTube channel, you need to be hitting on at least 2 out of the 3. Like, that's the only way to really make money. So at that point in time, I'm hitting on YouTube ad money and sponsorships. I've already had several sponsorships, so I know my way around the field. I pretty much know what I need to ask for in that. So, long story short, dude approaches me, he's like, hey, I would like to sponsor your channel. I'm like, hey, that's pretty awesome. I love sponsors. I'm like, so what do you got for a product? And he sends me a sample of the product, and I do my homework on it. With products, I'm looking for a couple of different things. One, is it legal, which normally that isn't a problem with like gun oil or something like that, or a safe. 2, is this product sellable? And 3, if I can sell this product, how exactly am I going to work the commercial? Because I don't want to just take advertisement money from somebody and not sell their product. That doesn't make any sense. I need to generate sales for them. So I came up with a plan like, okay, you know, this is how I'm going to advertise the product. I'm going to do it as like, hurry up and buy this before the ATF bans it. And then I called the ATF and they're like, yeah, this product is absolutely legal. You're good to go. You have nothing to worry about. So I ran a commercial for the AutoKeyCard. And the commercial was very successful. It generated a lot of sales. It's a credit card size piece of metal. Looks like this right here. Bam. Basically, there was a couple of different ones. He had a bottle opener, and then he had just a pen holder, and then he just had the flat card. And it had an etching of an old school lightning link on it. Not to scale, mind you, because the ATF testified this, that it was not to scale. They couldn't cut on the lines and it would not work. They had to make their own design. Anyways, just a drawing on a piece of metal, nothing cut out, non-functional out of the box. Fast forward, dude's at the bank, and he gets this cashier, and he gets in a verbal argument with them because he's trying to withdraw money. It was a couple $1,000s. From what I understand, less than $5,000, and they're stonewalling him. They're like, no, we can't let you withdraw this money, and she's got this big attitude. So he causes a scene, non-violent, obviously. And then ultimately gets her to cave and be like, okay, I'll give you the cash, but you need to write down on the slip of paper what's the cash for. And he's like, it's my money. Why does it matter what the cash is for? And she's like, we're not giving you the cash unless you write down on the slip of paper what the cash is for. So he writes down strippers and cocaine, which I gotta say was absolutely hilarious when they brought that up in trial. Like I had to visibly bite my lip, or physically bite my lip to not slip out a laugh. It was pretty hilarious. Anyways, so after this big falling out at the bank, one of the tellers has a family member in the ATF. So the teller reaches out to that and says, hey, crush this guy. Make him go away. He caused this big scene at the bank. He embarrassed me. He had like 20 people in the bank, and he was basically telling them like, oh, they're not going to give me my money. And then, yeah, it was completely embarrassing. So the guy goes through his stuff and finds the AutoKeyCard, and he's like, oh, this should work. So he contacts Fat D and was like, hey, this is a machine gun conversion device. Like, there was a recording of this conversation. It actually came up at trial. This is a machine gun conversion device. Make it so. Now, that's not verbatim what was said, but that was the gist of the conversation he had with Fat D. Basically instructing Fat D, I want this to be illegal. Do what you got to do to make it illegal. So, they indicted him. And then about a year later, they indicted me on a conspiracy for running ads on the advertisement, which is completely crap. At trial, their proof, they cut chunks of the AutoKeyCard out, wedged it into the AR-15 fire control system, then they got ammunition that they specially made with soft bench rest primers, and then they put it in there so when the hammer follows the bolt forward, the cartridge actually fires. And that's how they faked the test. It was completely wild. With normal primers, this test would have never actually worked. They would have either had to change, because alright, so they put a sample together that they let my lawyers test, were not even anywhere close to the lines. They just made their own thing. And they legitimately, like, basically cut a lightning link out of the piece of metal, and they're like, well, because it's the same piece of metal, so this works. Well, they didn't show those at trial, really. I mean, they were there, but that's not really what they hung their hat on, because it was obviously not even close to the original design. So then they made another one that looked like the original design, but it was non-functional. So that's when they used the soft primers, and they basically rigged the AR-15 to fire, and even without the auto key card in there, it still would have fired more than one shot per trigger pull because of the primers they're using. The AR-15 has a floating firing pin. That's why if you chamber around and you take it out, you'll see a little dent in the primer. You have to run super hard primers, otherwise they would just go off. Well, with the bench rest primer, those are soft enough and it makes it fire. And that's basically how they did their test. That was the whole case in a nutshell. Like, hey, so smoke, mirrors, a little bit of trickery, slide this here, do a little zig to the left, a little zig to the right. Don't forget, he's a real dangerous person, so let's incarcerate him. And that's the nutshell of the trial. It was really that, oh man, I don't even know the words to describe it. It was disgusting to watch. I'm like, really? They're going to try to put me away on half-truths and knowing lies? They did it, though. I mean, tip my hat to them. They pulled it off, which was wild. Anyway, I can't say this enough. I would not have made it through this without your guys' donations and your support. Your messages, your cards, caring for my family when I was gone. Thank you. That was amazing. Yeah, thank you. For real. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't say that enough. Anyways, right now, the best way if you'd like to keep supporting me is to grab merchandise from Only Tactical Fans at Shopify.com. And there's a reason for this. Those merch sales actually count as provable income. I can show those merch sales to the probation office and be like, hey, I'm selling product. This is a legitimate job. I'm doing way more than 30 hours a week. And that will allow me to keep working from home so I can keep spending the maximum amount of time with my family. What'll happen if I don't have a provable job is they're going to make me go work at Subway or something 30 hours a week, which I'll do. I don't care. You know, I'm home, so I'll do that. But it'd be nice to spend those 30 hours a week with my family. So that said, we still do have Give, Send, Go going. We still do have Cash App going. Here's the Cash App right here. The donations are 100% fine. If that's what you want to do, go ahead and do that. That is 100% okay. But if you're looking for merchandise, I'd rather have you buy at Only Tactical Fans, and there is a couple of support tabs there, just so I can show like actual product being sold, because the probation is pretty particular. Like, you got to have an income, and it can't be donations, and it can't be stuff like this. Like, it's got to be like work being done. So product being sold would definitely qualify as work being done. But again, if you want to do just Give, Send, Go or Cash App, totally 100% fine. You can do that. You are definitely supporting me, and there's still enough people buying merchandise from Only Tactical Fans where I can prove an income. Anyways, reality check. So, after the MSNBC article, their hit piece they did on me, YouTube demonetized me. So the channel CRS Firearms is likely demonetized forever. And the merchandise, that's what's supporting that. They went after my personal ad too. So you have YouTube, which can demonetize you, and then you have your AdSense account, which you use to get paid off of YouTube. They also went after my AdSense account. That being said, I'm currently demonetized as an individual. So it doesn't matter if I start a different channel, I'm still demonetized. There's nothing I can do about it. So even on my car channel, yes, it's different. It's not related to this channel, but I can't get paid because I don't have an AdSense account to connect to it to get paid in the first place. So that's something I wanted you to understand about this. So right now, the Only Tactical Fans is what's keeping the lights on. A lot of you have asked, what has this been like for me? And do I have any advice to give you if you should find yourself in a similar situation? The big lesson I have to take away from all this, if you ever get yourself federally indicted, learn the sentencing guidelines cold. Learn them inside and out. They will take a wave of the stress and the scariness out of it that they use to try to get you to sign a plea deal. Like for me, they came at me with 65 years. I thought I was going to win, so I didn't even check out my guidelines. I didn't even care. So when I was found guilty, like, boof, that was a hit to my gut, because I thought I was never going to see freedom again. But anyways, in most cases, they'll use those huge amount of time to get people to take plea deals. In most cases, they're not what you would actually get if you fight and you get found guilty. So know your guidelines through and through. There's a bunch of other advice, but that's the big one. Understand what's actually on the table. Second, no matter how bad it gets, you can do it. It's a roller coaster. It really is. And the lows, yeah, they're brutal. But hang on, you will get through this. I see people go through prison with nothing. They call it living off the land. They just steal, they sell stuff at prison, they make it through it. People with the worst crimes, like doing awful things to kids, make it through prison. And if they can make it through, You can make it through. There's obviously things that'll make it easier and harder, but generally speaking, you will make it through. Now, being home every day with Erica and the kids is everything. The simple stuff feel amazing again. And to everyone who's been here the whole entire time, thank you. Doesn't even cover it. Like, for real, it does not even cover it. I can say thank you and make an entire video saying thank you, and it just doesn't cover how much support and how grateful I am for everything you guys did for me. Because of you, I am in a good spot right now and looking forward. So, what's next for content in the channel? And this is a pretty complicated question. Plan A. That's number one. I stay right here on CRS Firearms and I keep making videos that I've always made, the kind of videos you guys love, gun content, political Second Amendment stuff, the mix you guys seem to enjoy. I love this channel. I really, really do. And with your support, through merch and everything else, I'm good to keep moving forward for the foreseeable future. Plan B. If I hit an absolute wall here, like YouTube bans get worse, they come after me harder, take away my Shopify, they can do a lot of things to make me go away. I do have a backup plan. The whole entire time I was incarcerated, I was reading automotive technical manuals. So I have Coyote engines, LS, and the modern Hemis. I have a ridiculous amount of knowledge stacked up. And now, if I had to, I could shift to a car channel without breaking a sweat. I have in-depth knowledge about how those engines work, how to build them, the types of repairs I need to do. That would happen just fine. However, but that would only happen if CRS truly became impossible. Right now, it doesn't look that way. It looks like I'll be able to keep going forward without a problem. The car channel will probably still get love as a hobby. Like, I'm not talking about so on CRS, this is a business. This truly, truly is. I grind every day. I put a whole bunch of work on the back end and that. The car channel, currently, I would just do videos when I'm like, oh, that would make a cool video, and I shoot it. I'm not going to be grinding on that. I'm not going to be putting a whole bunch of time and energy into that because you only have so much hours in the day. If there was 48 hours, yeah, I could probably run 2 channels successfully, but there's not. There's only 24. So running this channel, plus being with the family, doing housework, all that stuff, there's just not enough time to run a second channel as a full business. Again, I will as a hobby. Anyway, the problem is, since my personal AdSense account got banned, and I'm trying to get it reactive, and I keep trying, and I keep trying, and I keep trying, and they just keep making up more excuses why it's not. I'm not banned from monetization strictly on CRS Firearms. I'm banned from monetization on YouTube as a whole. You need an AdSense account in order to get paid. So it wouldn't matter if I started a car channel because I'd be in the exact same boat I'm in right now. It'd still be completely demonetized. As far as Only Tactical Fans, Erica's channel, I'm trying to talk her into coming back, but she really doesn't love YouTube. She likes her privacy. She likes to just stay off on her own. And you know what? I don't blame her. It's just not her thing, and YouTube really isn't. 85% of people fail on YouTube, not because they make bad videos or anything like that. They just stop uploading because it's just not their thing, and there's a lot of work that goes into it. So, worst case scenario with that channel is I roll the dice, because that channel is currently kind of monetized, and I make that my live stream channel, and I see if maybe I can get away with it, or if YouTube demonetizes it. Likely what would happen is it would ultimately get demonetized. Bottom line, though, is content is coming. I'm home, I'm motivated, and because of you guys, we're keeping a positive look on all this, and I'm going to make it happen. As long as you guys keep being there for me, I'm going to keep going. And thank you again for everyone. Links for merch, Give, Send, Go, all of that in the description down below. And you know what? Even if you don't want to go that route, but you still want to help support the channel, there's another way you can do it without giving to Give, Send, Go or donating money or doing anything else than you would already be doing. And what that is the Amazon affiliate link. If you go down in the description, you click on the Amazon affiliate link, even if you don't buy what that link is for, just clicking on it for 48 hours as a cookie on your computer, and everything you buy from Amazon, I get a kickback for it because you came there off my channel. So just click on the link and doing the Amazon shopping you're already going to do anyway, I get a little bit of love for it. Anyways, thank you for watching. I'll catch you guys on the next video. Don't forget to subscribe.